Hello everybody, I know you missed me, sorry it's been a while. The last week was a little interesting, that's why there was a lack of videos on the channel, but alas, we are back like we never left. Our bad again. So a lot of shit has been happening, especially with the Marvel Cinematic Universe as of late. We officially got a confirmation that the X-Men is now at the forefront of the Marvel and Disney's minds after Avengers 5 and 6, which is going to be Doomsday and Secret Wars. And on top of that, the Fantastic Four trailer is dropping tomorrow. This video is being filmed probably the day it's coming out. I would imagine I'm going to put this video out today. Which means we're going to have a hangover video tomorrow. Jacob's going to be talking about the Michael Jordan doc on Wednesday. Forever Talking is going to be on Thursday. And then Fantastic Four, we're going to get a trailer reaction and a review and maybe a breakdown of everything that you might expect in that movie on Friday. Text message. But what I want to talk about today is relatively significant towards the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in Disney, and that is the reveal that the Russo Brothers have, you don't want to say official until they say it or Kevin Feige says it, but majorly reported that they are back to oversee the direction of the Marvel Cinematic Universe after Secret Wars and Doomsday and the Multiverse saga with the installments of the X-Men. It says here the rumor is the Russo Brothers to oversee X-Men reboot after Avengers Secret Wars, having already taken over the reins as Avengers 5 and 6. The Russo Brothers are reportedly in the running to helm the much-awaited X-Men reboot after directing Avengers Endgame and providing a fitting conclusion to the MCU's Infinity Saga. Joe and Anthony Russo quietly exited the Marvel setup in pursuit of other ventures. However, they made an unexpected return to the franchise alongside Robert Downey Jr. at the 2024 San Diego Comic-Con. Where they announced that instead of Kang Dynasty, it's going to be Avengers Doomsday, and then it will be Secret Wars leading into that. Not a lot of rumors going into San Diego Comic-Con the Russo Brothers were going to be returning. Actually, it was more of the opposite. From everything that we knew after Endgame, it was Marvel looking to go in a different direction, find their next Russo Brothers for Secret Wars. And now Marvel is circulating and kind of doing a huge U-turn. Heading back to what they know as reliable, which is the Russo Brothers, to not only do Doomsday and Secret Wars, but the Russo Brothers will also be taking over the X-Men, which is very important for the Marvel Cinematic Universe moving forward, as we're going to probably be swapping in a lot of the big players out with X-Men, and my theory is that the X-Men and Fantastic Four are going to be the future of Marvel heading forward. You're probably going to see the dissipation of a lot of characters that we've known from the past. Now, when it says here that the Russo Brothers are going to be overseeing the X-Men, I don't really take it as they're just going to be overseeing that one film. I think they're going to be overseeing the X-Men's integration into the Marvel Cinematic Universe and how that's going to play out for the future. Really, how I read this is that the Russo Brothers are kind of going to be working on producing and controlling a lot of the Marvel Cinematic Universe because the X-Men is going to be such a prominent focus moving forward. And I don't mind that idea at all. I actually like it quite a lot. And I know that I didn't mind at all whenever the Russo brothers seemed to be leaving Marvel and Disney after Secret Wars, Infinity War and Endgame, because it seemed like Marvel was entering a new period, a new era, and I expected the Russo brothers to come back in some capacity, but Marvel entering a new era, I thought a nice change of gears from a creative and stylistic standpoint could have been much appreciated. Now, Avengers Endgame dropped, and we went into this new era that we were supposed to be getting, and it was shit. We fucked this up royally. There's only a handful of movies that have come out since Avengers Endgame that I can be like, yeah, that was pretty good. And there's only been a handful of directors that I can think of that have, like, stylistically I've looked at and been like, I think that they could be in the rotation of big directors moving forward. But the only one that really jumped out to me that I was like, yeah, maybe they could do a Secret Wars, they could do, a Kang Dynasty at the time. The only one that really jumped out to me was Shawn Levy, and just because Shawn Levy handled the constant juggling of multiversal things so well in Deadpool and Wolverine. I know a lot of people are shitting on Deadpool Wolverine right now, but you guys are fucking stupid. That movie's awesome. Not you guys, obviously. I'm talking about the haters of that movie. That movie's great. it's fan service. People shit on fan service and cameos. Yeah, I don't understand. I really don't understand that. I don't understand how giving the fans what they want to see in movies is a bad thing. I know that Sam Raimi, he came in to do Doctor Strange 2. In my opinion, that movie, it's grown on me since. I didn't really like it all that much when I saw it. I thought Sam Raimi did fine, but the choice to have Sam Raimi do the big projects like the Kangs and the Secret Wars, I wasn't really too keen on that. Destin Daniel Cretton, who did Shang-Chi, his name was thrown in there to do Kang Dynasty for a little bit there. Wasn't super crazy about that, even though Shang-Chi was kind of a banger movie and it was directed very, very well. I am actually much more excited to see Destin Daniel Cretton doing Spider-Man for Spider-Man 4. He is directing that film, and I think that he is going to make that look really, really, really good. As John Watts cycles out with Spider-Man and you find your new direction and your new director to do the next trilogy of Tom Holland Spider-Man films, Destin Daniel Cretton that's a pretty good choice, especially when you looked at his skills in directing combat, which Tom Holland Spider-Man was sorely lacking. Picked up a lot in No Way Home. I mean, the hand-to-hand in between Spider-Man and Goblin, especially in the apartment complex, was a fucking banger. But I felt like as Peter gets older in this universe and becomes a more experienced Spider-Man, I want to kind of see that element be adapted a little more, and I think that he can get very creative with using a character like Spider-Man at his disposal. But still, like, throughout the last however many years, I mean, Endgame came out in 2019, we were kind of like throwing around 2019, I think, yeah, 2019. Like, for the last 5 years have been like, well, who the fuck is going to, direct these movies? And then Jonathan Majors' whole incident happened, and we were like, is this even going to be Kang Dynasty? And then it shows that they were going back to the Russo Brothers, and a lot of people shit on that like that was a bad thing. And me even looking at it, I was like, yeah, that kind of shows a level of desperation, but also, I don't have a problem with it because you know that it's probably going to be good. Moving on from the Russo brothers, between Marvel and the Russo brothers was a joint decision. It felt like the Russo brothers wanted to venture out and do more things, and it felt like Marvel was okay trying to bring in the next generation of actors to carry the universe moving forward. Obviously, that didn't work, and it seems like Marvel, more than the Russo brothers, want the Russo brothers to come back, but it's not like the Russo brothers have done anything to the level of their Marvel movies since leaving. And to be honest, it seems like they are extremely passionate and loving of the Marvel characters and the universe that they've helped create. Like, whenever the Russo brothers had Spider-Man in their hands, I've liked that, portrayal of that character a lot more than what John Watts has done with him, just from trying to get the best out of Tom Holland. Now I'm happy to see that with Spider-Man 4, Tom Holland is kind of holding on to the script of that movie for dear life to make it the best fucking Spider-Man movie he possibly can, because they need it. And I really am appreciative of that, and I think that the Russo brothers are going to be accepting of that, and the Russo brothers are going to want to try to make the best movie. A lot of people shit on Robert Downey Jr. coming in to play Doomsday. I think that I don't really, obviously, is it a desperate move after losing Jonathan Majors? Yes, because you have to literally transfer all this effort into a completely different direction, but it is an easy fix that is capable of telling a great story. Like, this is just, and with the Russo brothers at the helm, I think that this is going to work just fine. And also with major movies like Doomsday and Secret Wars bringing back, a lot of the characters and actors that the Russo brothers have worked with in the past, I think that they still probably are a good choice. But make no mistake, the Russo brothers were advocates of moving on to a different generation of Avengers and actors. I mean, they killed Tony Stark. They moved on Chris Evans. They brought in Anthony Mackie as Captain America. They were cool going in that new generation, and just because they're having to bring them back, I don't hate it, because they were always going to come back for these movies regardless if the Russo brothers were going to be involved with it anyway. And the Russo brothers overseeing the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the future, I think that they're going to establish new characters and new actors, just as they were able to do in the last couple years. And I think that, like, in my head, it's not a bad thing. Sure, the original plan didn't go well, but Plan B works just as well, if not better, than what we wanted to do in the original place anyway. And even the Russo brothers handling characters that they didn't really create, like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, which is definitely going to be here, and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool, and all these guys and characters that are going to show up in Secret Wars. I'm pretty confident that the Russo brothers are very capable of making that kind of movie, because they've done it with an Infinity War and the Endgame, with juggling so many things and landing it the way that they need to. A lot of people shit on Endgame. Yeah, I mean, I get it, but, like, also, I didn't mind the direction, and Endgame is one of the biggest Marvel movies ever made. Like, it was an event, and I think that they want to make Secret Wars an event. I don't hate that direction. So yeah, Russo Brothers coming back to do the X-Men, and kind of leading a charge for the Marvel Cinematic Universe after Secret Wars. Do you hate it? Do you love it? What do you think of it? I don't mind it. I actually think that this is going to work out just fine, and it's probably in our best interest anyway. Anyways, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, love, adios, and bye-bye.